Today I want to talk about the difference between being cheap or being frugal. Hey guys, welcome back. Before we hop into the video, leave me a comment and let me know whether you consider yourself to be cheap or frugal or neither. Today is going to be a quick video. I just want to talk about the differences between being cheap and being frugal, and I do want to kind of preface all this with saying this is just my opinion. This is just the way I think about things. Doesn't necessarily mean that this is the exact definition. If you don't agree with what I'm saying or the way I look at these two concepts, that's cool. It's fine. We can all have our own opinions. I tend to often use these terms interchangeably, whether it's just because I'm being self-deprecating or lazy or I don't know. There is definitely a distinct difference between being cheap and being frugal. And one of the ways I like to look at the difference right off the bat is if you've ever seen that TV show Extreme Cheapskates. If you haven't, you should look it up. It's actually pretty funny. Cheap is doing anything to save a buck or even less than a buck. Just doing anything to always spend the very least amount of money possible on anything. Doesn't matter what it is. You just don't ever want to spend any money. And if you've been here on my channel before, then you probably have heard me talk about what frugal means to me. But if you're new here, then let's recap quickly. To me, frugal means saving money and cutting costs and cutting expenses in areas of your life that don't necessarily matter that much, so that you are freeing up additional funds to be able to put towards the things that are really important in your life, the things that bring you the most value. So sticking with that definition, that could actually mean spending the money on things that are important to you, or even saving the money on things that are important to you, or giving the money away to things, people, or causes that are important to you. This all ties into the idea of intentional living and intentional spending, and that is what we have tried to do with our life and our money over the past couple of years as we've moved through this financial journey. Now, I do consider myself to be pretty frugal, but I still like nice things. I don't necessarily agree with the adage that things don't make you happy, because I have a lot of things that make me happy. They bring me joy, they bring me happiness, and often it's because that thing is adding value to my life in some way, saving me time in some way, because time is our most precious resource, and at least to me, the value of my time is way higher than the value of my money. So it's saving me time in some way, or it's adding convenience to my life in some way, which now that I think about it, often is in the form of saving me time. In all of those ways, things do bring me joy and happiness. Now, that's not to say that things are more important than people or memories or experiences. So that being said, I am frugal. I cut costs on things that don't really make me happy, right? That way I have the extra money that I can put towards the nice things. We have also cut back on buying a lot of things, meaning we stop spending money. We stop buying the stupid little things that really don't matter, like the dumb things that you care about for 5 minutes but maybe don't have longevity in your life. It also means that we have really grown to value quality over quantity. When you're cheap, you don't really care about the quality of anything. Again, going back to what I said in the beginning, you just want to get something as cheap as humanly possible. So you really don't care about the quality. And I think what happens in a lot of scenarios when you're just focused on being cheap is you actually end up spending more money over time, because you're going to have to replace those items over and over and over. Because as we know, we get what we pay for, and if you're paying basically nothing for something, then it's usually going to be a very poor quality and is going to break, get used up, much quicker than something that you're going to spend a little more for, but is going to be of a lot better quality. You can apply this concept to pretty much anything. So when you're going for the really cheap food, it's usually going to be lacking nutrition. It's usually going to be made of poor ingredients that aren't good for your health. And everybody always says that if you want to stick to a more healthful diet, it's usually going to cost you a little bit more money. Going back to the show Extreme Cheapskates, and I mention that again because the show was just shocking to me. You saw people diving in dumpsters. You saw people stuffing their purse with ketchup packets and napkins from a fast food store so that they didn't have to buy it themselves. You saw people re-washing and using and hanging to dry paper towels. You saw people refusing to use toilet paper just to save a buck. And listen guys, I'm all for saving money. In fact, if you visit this playlist on my channel, it's going to give you a whole list of videos where I talk about money saving tips and hacks in all different areas of life. But you are not ever going to catch me cutting out toilet paper to save a buck. I'm sorry. I do love the planet, but I'm never going to stop using toilet paper. Just a personal preference. Doesn't mean you can't stop using toilet paper if you'd like, just not for me. That is why I consider myself frugal. I am not willing to do anything to save a buck. I am willing to cut costs in certain areas to save some money, to free up other money. That way I can put that money towards our savings goals, right? We can have more money to give to others, to help others. We can have more money to buy gifts for the people that we love and care about. We can have more money to take family vacations and make family memories and have family experiences together. I also believe that being frugal does take some effort. It's not always taking the easy route. So sometimes you are going to have to spend some additional time, maybe cutting coupons, although I don't cut coupons. Maybe it's taking a few minutes to scan all the items in the Cartwheel app when you're at Target. Maybe it's dining out on different days where you can take advantage of different specials, or kids eat free, so you can make eating out more affordable and fit into your budget. There's lots of different things you can do to save money and to be frugal. And a lot of them do take a little bit of time. So when you're looking to save money, whether it's to be cheap or be frugal, a good rule of thumb is to weigh the amount of money you're going to save versus the amount of extra time and effort it's going to cost you. Going back to what I said before, where time is my most valuable resource, you have to decide what your time is worth to you. I would never drive to a store an hour away to save $5 because the amount of extra money I'm going to spend in gas and my time to do so is going to be greater than the $5 I would spend. Would I drive to a store an hour away to save $50? Yeah, probably, if it fit in my schedule and I didn't have to pass up something and I didn't have to miss out on something more important to do so, that would probably be worth $50 of savings to me. I think that's another part of being frugal, is knowing when it's worth saving the money and when it's not. Being frugal doesn't mean you can't have nice things. It doesn't mean you can't spend a lot of money on something. When you're frugal, you take time, you research bigger purchases, you are intentional with these purchases, you make sure that it's something that's going to serve you and that it's going to be money well spent. I think sometimes people are worried to call themselves frugal because they think that people are going to judge them if they then spend a lot of money on an item. But who cares? It's your money. Who cares what people think? Okay guys, you know me. I could probably talk about this topic for another hour, but I'm going to wrap it up. I hope this maybe cleared some things up for you. I would love to hear your opinion on what the difference is between frugal and cheap. And now that you've watched this video, do you still consider yourself the same as you did in the beginning of the video? Or did you used to think you were cheap and now maybe you realize you're just frugal? I love to hear from you guys. I hope you'll take a second and leave me a comment. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please go ahead and give it a thumbs up. It really helps me out. Thank you so much for watching today. I hope you have a great day. Bye.
Talk to me, baby. I've been waiting for a lifetime. Just keep on fading.